Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. I've debated on exactly how to share this story with you. If you have ever, lost somebody really close to you and wondered if they can still hear you, still communicate with you, and so forth, I'm here to confirm that they can and they do, and you have to watch out for the signs and stuff. So we're coming up on the anniversary of my son's death. My oldest son took his own life a couple of years ago, and it's still very fresh. It's a grief that you can't quite explain. Losing a child like that, especially so unexpectedly. Um, So my son, just a little bit of background, he's the oldest of five, and he was always very curious, very goofy, like to make people laugh, and he was very curious. He was a Capricorn, and he taught himself cuneiform and taught himself how to weld. He had a rough time in school when he was growing up. He was bullied a lot for being different. He was neurodivergent, left-handed, dyslexic, which I found out later. And he had a rough go of it. Nothing in his life ever seemed to go very smoothly. No matter how much I tried, it always was rough. Um, so the the grief that you feel when you lose a child, it's different than when you like lose someone else. 'Cause, like I said, I lost my grandpa and I was very, very close to him. But this is an emptiness that you can't fill. It stings and it hurts all the time. Um, so um, what happened was, after I had found out that he had passed away, it was a couple of days after, and I was laying in the bed and I was just sobbing. And I was looking up and I said, hey, Devin, if you can hear me, give me a sign. Let me know you can hear me, please. And just then, the music that I was listening to changed over to a song that I had never heard before. Sorry, hold on. And to the song, it was Nat King Cole, Smile. And if you've never heard the song, I encourage you to go listen to it. It's so beautiful. And I knew that he was there with me. And it gave me this sense, of relief for just a moment, knowing that, he still just wanted me to be okay. He wanted me to smile, and, that he was okay, and it's just, it's really just unexplainable. But, it took away some of the sadness for just a moment. I get a lot of messages through music. Music has always been a big deal in my world. Like I hear certain songs and I know something's coming, and with this song, like I said, I had never heard it before. And I played it at his celebration of life, along with several other songs. I made a playlist for him that was like life. So, music that was really important to him from basically from the time he was born until he passed away. And then after, which was songs that reminded me of him. And the final song that I played was Smile by Nat King Cole. And it was a really beautiful experience. We all had a good cry, and for those of us who are Gen X, and in this age group and whatnot, we were really raised with, hey, go rub some dirt on it and go out and play. We were raised to, you don't cry about it. You just, hold it inside and internalize it. And you can't. You just can't. You got to let it out and look for those signs, talk to them. I talk to him every day. And, I still continue to see things, little things here and there that, remind me of him. When I start feeling sad and, another song will come on. There was one that I used to listen to when he was a baby, and it was the only song I could get him to go to sleep to, and it was You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC, because I would dance with him, and do like, You Shook Me All Night Long. And, when I start missing him, that song comes on the radio or it starts playing just, randomly. And it makes me feel better knowing that he's watching over me and that he's still there. And he can hear me and he knows that I love him. So this is for, whoever needs to hear it. If you're going through a grief like this, look for the signs. Talk to them. They can hear you. They know you're there. They know you love them, but look for those signs. Look for the little things, something that, pops up that, reminds you of when, something happened when they were little, or, just something like that. And, go ahead and cry. Anyway, I hope that this helps. And, if this message resonates with you, if this message is for you, please, like and subscribe. Give me a comment in this section and let me know. I'd love to hear your story. So you have a good evening and take care, hun. And if by chance you feel like giving back at all, I have a coffee thing, by the Cat Counselor treat. That'd be great. And I will be back again soon. You have a good night.